are at InstallerSHOW25, and yeah, it's been a busy day one. Lots and lots to talk about. Our stand has been an absolute magnet for conversation, which is exactly what we was after. And on that topic, we're here today talking to a very good and older friend of mine, Paul Everitt. Paul, welcome.
Good afternoon, Damian.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
Paul, do you want to explain who you are and why you're here, mate?
Wow. So my name's Paul Everitt, as you've already said. One of my roles is I'm an AiM Assessor, which you kindly give me a call and ask me would I be interested in doing it. My background, as I said, 39 years in the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom installation market.
Wow.
Everything from the cold face up, from a lead generator first off many years ago in the wonderful business that we grew up in, to a kitchen designer, worked my way through to sales management, and then ended up kind of into the sales coaching role and doing sales coaching skills and what great looks like for senior management teams within independent business and national retailers.
So you use the acronym of AiM there, so for the benefit of you guys who don't know, AiM stands for Accredited Installation Methods. It's a new accreditation that we created back end of 2024 and started to deliver the beginning of this year. And AiM accreditation is essentially a method of assessment whereby we would go into a business that delivers an install service either via an employed or subcontracted workforce, and we would support them to make that service robust, cost effective, and essentially less risky than it probably currently is. And we've been working with you, well, I've been working with you for several years now, but the role that you play in that is that you go out to businesses essentially and you assess, right?
Correct.
How many businesses have you been out to broadly so far?
We've done 3 so far.
Excellent.
2 independents, 1 national retailer.
Very good. Mention no names at this stage.
I was going to say, just hold it back.
Keep it.
So, all fantastic businesses. I think for me, it's been a pleasure to go into these businesses to seek to understand, lift the floorboards up, and give some kind of guidance, help and advice, but also recognise what they do really well. Yeah. Because people, I know we use the word audit, but it for me, sometimes
seems quite formal. I mean, it is formal, but
it is, and it's the right way to talk about it. But it's not about conjuring up that we go in with a clipboard and go, right, we're here. Because there's a lot to go through. It really is a deep dive into understand that business and its people from start to finish. And equally as important, the customer journey that we go on. There's 6 models, about 62 touch points, and we lift the floorboards in a nice coaching style fashion to understand and build that trust from the word go, Damian.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because a lot of accreditation that you see, not just in our industry but accreditation across other industries as well, is all about just rubber stamping what somebody's already got. And I guess AiM does eventually lead to that, but the journey for us is, I guess, bringing people up to a place where they're offering a robust service both for themselves, their customers, their shareholders, their stakeholders, and whoever else is involved in it. And that's really quite key. But that's difficult because you're going into businesses that, this is their baby. And I'm not suggesting for 1 minute you'd ever go in and call their baby ugly, but there are potentially parts of their business that you're going to be saying may need improvement. How on earth do you go about doing that with a sort of, this kind of, in a nice coachy way, using your own words?
I think it's about trying to understand the individual and building a relationship from the word go. So I just don't turn up on the day and say, look, I'm here. We do a lot of work behind the scenes with Chris through Zoom calls.
In the run-up.
Absolutely. Introducing ourselves. We don't just talk about the modules and what we're looking at. We kind of get to know each other in terms of what we like, what we dislike. So a bit of a personality conversation first. So when I do turn up, it's kind of they know what I look like. Bless them.
They know you're not going to go in and assassinate them.
Correct. And as I keep saying, and I say it several times, I'm not there to catch anybody out. It's all about the richness of the conversation, because I'll spend time with your advisor, I'll spend time with the designer, and these designers are great at what they do. Same with the sales advisors. And you look at the designs and try and give them some top tips if needed.
Yeah.
But equally as important, recognise what they do and how they do it.
Yeah.
So it's about engagement from at every level, and having an open and honest conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's go back to you then. So look, you're a well-respected chap within the industry. There's probably not many people who don't know you, certainly in the circles that we operate in, and that's testament to you. 39 years on, you're not sitting around waiting for my phone call. So when that phone call did come, why were you compelled to be part of it? Because I'm sure you're not short of offers for work, and no doubt that all the other businesses that have been keeping you busy, over the last few years, can continue doing that. So why AiM? Why are you giving your time to AiM?
Because of what I do, it's about setting the standards within the industry. Because I do, like I said, I have lots of work streams. I'm well known, which is all well and good. But I'm passionate about what I do and how I go about things. But for me, it's about the standards we need to set within the industry. I look at Mrs. Smith, for example, who can spend £500 or £500,000, and everyone is important in terms of what they're spending.
Yeah.
And there's always a story behind it, and we've got to get it right. And we've got, there's great installers out there. There's a lot of great installers out there.
Yeah, but there's a few that aren't.
Correct.
Yeah.
And by introducing AiM and introducing the standards, it's about how do we raise that bar.
Yeah.
And it's not saying to the installer or the individuals, you're not good at what you do. It's about how can we develop, and self-development and moving it on. It's critical to all of us, because like you say, we could say, he knows everything. I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
I mean, any of us do we?
No, every day's a learning day, and I know it's an old cliche, but we've got to develop ourselves. I'm very curious of what we do, but going back to AiM, it's about setting the standards within the industry.
So one of the other things that you do, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier on the conversation, we certainly did on the stage a moment ago, but another role that you do is an important one, and that is in the support of dispute resolution.
Yes.
So you work for Dispute Resolution Ombudsman, or you work with them, should I say, and part of your role is going out there and seeing things when they've gone wrong. What are the sort of things that you're seeing when you go out there typically? Obviously not case specific, but what are the problems that exist within installation?
There's probably 2 or 3 key things that set out. First one obviously is the workmanship, and it's not been done to standard, and that can be anything from, I guess tiling's a bugbear of mine, tiling, worktop joints, but also as well what comes across is the customer's expectations. Have we managed their expectations?
And they're changing, aren't they? Customers' expectations are changing.
Correct. But equally it starts at the design, and where there's this lack of ambiguity sometimes around the design of what the customer's expectations thought I was getting to what's actually installed. And the survey, massively important. So there's these touch points and then we deliver the installation. But it starts to build up from the design, the survey, this field management visits, and then onto the workmanship. So there's 2 or 3 key things that builds this escalation complaint that becomes a bigger thing in the end.
I mean, we're going to be talking to some of the retailers shortly that have been been on the other end of your assessment, which is great. And to be fair, they're all singing your praises, which we knew they would. But what advice would you give to retailers that are probably sitting there, and we know this will be the case, but they'll be sitting there saying, well, we've been doing this for a few years, we're all right, why do we need to do anything different? And why do we need to open the door to assessment?
Do it. I would simply say to them, do it. What have you got to lose? Some people, like you say, can be protective about, this is my business. Why would he or she come in and say, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong? But just open yourself up, open your mind up to what is out there, because what sometimes you think is right is not always right. But how can you develop yourself and your people and just give somebody a chance to come in and independently look at it and say, look, if you do this and be consistent, maybe it will help to grow more customers, but more importantly, retain that customer, for them to be a raving fan about you. You have to be, I keep saying it, the best in town.
You do. Yeah, more so now than ever, I think.
100%.
I think businesses are so transparent because, you know, the internet, social media just makes it transparent, doesn't it? So
Yes.
the better you can be, the better it is. And, you know, that's really good advice. Paul, you're an absolute asset to what we do. I've always said this. I think you're a great ambassador for standards. You're a great ambassador to ours, and we are very lucky to have you, mate. So I want to thank you for everything you do, mate, and long may that live.
My pleasure.
Thanks
as always, Damon.
Pleasure. Well, there you go. So that was it from myself and Paul here at InstallerSHOW. What I would say is, for those businesses that are considering AiM accreditation, then please do take a look. If you go to our website, bikbb.org.uk/AiM, AIM, you'll get everything you need. Similarly, you want to give us a call, go onto our website, click on Contact Us and find out more. The first part of that information gathering can be online. We'll make it really easy for you. And it's information that you can essentially take away and figure out whether it's right for you and your business. But AiM is definitely here for you and for your industry, and we're more than happy to help you through that process, that very complex process of installation. So thanks for your time today, and yeah, keep an eye on the YouTube channel. There's plenty more happening from the InstallerSHOW 2025.